Christmas in the Acme Ballroom by Mabel Brown Stewart. Letter 5, Jeff. December 11th, later that same day. Dear Miss Hatch, oh, sorry for another letter. I feel so much better when I talk things out and see the words appear on the screen. All hail speech to text. The things that are happening don't always make sense, but it sure feels better to share them with somebody. After my last class, I meet Mrs. Douglas in the basement below our auditorium. That's where things get really weird. So, Mo, we want to get started on costumes right away because we have winter break coming up and the show will open at the end of January. We don't have a lot of time, explains Mrs. D. I've created a list of items to pull from our stock. She hands me a long list written in tight script. Luckily, my mom has old-fashioned handwriting, so I think I can probably decipher it. Decipher, number 23 on Mr. Wells' list. A lot of kids my age can't read cursive. Okay, I say. I can make out the words tutu and cloak, but there are several words I can't read. Is that wizard or white shirt? Are you comfortable being down here by yourself? I need to make some phone calls. Parent complaints always pour in when the cast list goes up, she sighs. The basement is a little dark and spooky. The kids refer to costume storage as the crypt. There are no windows in the storeroom and only one door out. But I rally. Sure, I say, I'll get started. You're a trooper. I'll be back in a few. She unlocks the door and props it open with a wooden wedge. She flicks on the fluorescent lights. They flicker and hum as they come to life. Have fun, she says and leaves. Normally, I'm happy to be in the storeroom with its rows and rows of costumes, but I've never been here all by myself. Whenever someone leaves, no matter where I am, this sense of loneliness just washes over me. I try to ignore it, but it's hard. When I walk into the crypt, I immediately notice the familiar smell of old fabric and perspiration. No matter how many times you launder costumes, they always smell a little like sweat. It's not gross or anything. It reminds me that these clothes were worn by other kids who were on stage performing, pouring their hearts out, as Mom would say. They cared so much that they left a little of themselves behind. I know that sounds weird, but that's just how I see it. It's like a blessing, only with sweat instead of holy water. I love this room. I start with the tutus. There are so many crammed on the rack. They are a jumbled mess. I managed to untangle a sky blue one and hold it up to examine it. Just then I hear an odd scrabbling, scratching sound. It's coming from inside the wall, near where I'm standing. Is there something living inside the wall? A mouse, maybe? Whatever it is, it's moving around, and I try to ignore it, but still, it's a little freaky. The blue tutu is lovely. It has silver sparkles and is so elegant with beautiful layers. It might be something we can adapt into Ariel's costume, and I'll get to wear it. The color is perfect because Ariel is a sky spirit. I imagine moving across the stage in it, an azure blue blur. I hang it on the empty rack just outside the door. That's where we put the items that will be taken up to the costume shop. Next, I find some long satin gowns that could work for the three spirits in Act 5, series Iris and Juno. The dresses are quite striking, and I think that Janice, Lana, and Molly might like them, especially if we add dramatic headdresses. Part of me feels a little guilty for snagging the role of Ariel, and in spite of the mean looks and the tofu bomb at lunchtime, I want to make sure Janice is happy with her costume. Maybe we can make it light up or something. I can work wonders with a string of battery-operated Christmas lights. As I wander towards the cloaks that hang against the back corner, I hear more rustling, but now it sounds like something is actually in the room, not just inside the wall. Creepy. I gather my courage and start inspecting this maroon cape. Suddenly I hear a little cough, like someone is clearing his throat. Hello, I say, is someone here? Just little old me, sighs a small voice. Can't tell exactly where it's coming from. I look around. I don't mean to be rude, but who who are you? I say. Is someone playing a prank on me? It's definitely scary and weird. Are you in drama club? I'm Jeff, he pronounces in a confident tone. I'm the eighth wonder of the world. What would I need with drama club? Right behind me, I hear something fall. I look around and it's a nightcap with the words Bah Humbug on it. Do I know you? I ask. Jeff. I can't think of anyone I know by that name. And then an old fashioned crutch topples over by the door. You tell me, he replies, chuckling. Can you come out so I can see you? I'm moving towards the door, planning my escape. Jeff's voice sounds so small and high that I'm not exactly threatened by him. I just don't understand where he's hiding, and it's scaring me. Not a good idea for me to come out. If you saw me, you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone or a pillar of salt. In the far corner, a black plastic scythe falls off a high shelf. Oh, okay, I say. Why are you stuttering? Is it because you miss your father? Jeff asks. Such a mean remark. As you know, Miss Hatch, my father isn't part of my life, and like I said, it's a sore spot. But how would this Jeff guy know about it? Does everybody know? Just then I hear someone coming down the stairs. I recognize the voices, Janice and Lana. What are they doing here, I wonder? I'm feeling dizzy and overwhelmed at this point. Hello, Janice says as she stands in the doorway. I pop out from behind one of the racks. Hi. I'm not thrilled to see them. Oh, Mo, you're here, Lana says. Janice and Lana exchange a look that doesn't look very kind. So this is the crypt. I always wondered what it looked like, says Janice. It smells bad, Lana comments. Is that the costumes or... They giggle in this awful way. Are they saying I smell bad? I hear rustling again. What's that sound? I ignore the question and pretend to be looking through a rack of costumes. I really don't want to try to explain Jeff. Mo? Oh, I hear the blessed voice of Mrs. D. She's coming down the stairs. In here, I respond, trying to pull myself together. Janice and Lana look at each other. They know they aren't supposed to be in the crypt without permission. Girls, Mrs. D says sharply as she reaches the doorway. She tips her head and shoots a look at Janice and Lana in that intense way of hers. Sorry, Mrs. D, they say and run up the stairs. Oh, I feel so relieved they are gone. I carry the maroon cape to the rack in the hall. Mrs. D gives my choices the once over and nods with approval. A good start, dear, she says. I feel so comforted when I hear her say dear. Mrs. D, I say, I heard a voice while I was here. Someone called Jeff? Mrs. D looks startled. Jeff? You heard Jeff? Are you sure? Some of the color has gone from her face. Well, yeah, I say, surprised at her reaction. I could hear him but not see him, and stuff started falling off the shelves. It kind of freaked me out. Mrs. D shrugs. Oh, he pops in from time to time. He's a bit of a smart aleck, but usually nothing to worry about. Let's take these costumes upstairs and be done for the day. What do you say? When I get home to the Acme building, I try to make sense of my strange encounter with Jeff and Mrs. D's startled reaction. Who is Jeff? 17 days without Sean. Yours truly, Mo.